Okay. Okay, should be the push lemon for Daniel Ben Tomer. Good morning, good morning. Hayom Kotzev Hamalacha Meruba. So, what? Yes, and today is sponsored. The breakfast is sponsored by Mrs. Becher in honor of her mother's roadside Otel Basaliyaze.
Your time's your
Okay, yeah. So we had about a mitzvah here. We had about a mitzvah 2 weeks ago, yeah. And photographer asked if he's allowed to take a picture of the Sefer Torah. So there were two questions. One is, could they take out the Torah from could they take out the Torah from the Aron Kodesh before or after the ceremony and pose with pictures of the Sefer Torah? So I said no. It's a design for Sefer Torah. You're not allowed to. But then he said, how about just b'shas the kriyas Torah? Is he allowed to take pictures?
No, right.
So he didn't ask me at the Kollel. He asked me in Beis Menachem Mendel 2 weeks ago. He asked me, Rabbi, can we take out the Sefer Torah to take pictures? So I said no. And I said no. He said, oh, am I allowed to take pictures of the boy and the Sefer Torah in it? So I said yes. That's not a design for the Sefer Torah. So afterwards, I was looking about this to see if any contemporary talkers can speak about it. Actually, we have here a special mug, Beis Menachem Mendel mug with the Petzua Daka, with the Aleph. And we once spoke about it. Mensch asked a question. Over there was a different question because there's the Shem Hashem that's clearly visible on it, and and we spoke about it. We dealt with it.
Rabbi, just explain to them what Petzua Daka.
I don't want to explain because I already explained, and the time is short, and I want to talk about the shilas on hand. So, the shilah on hand was: could he take a picture of the boy by mitzvah by the Sefer Torah? Is it so? I said it's not a design Sefer Torah, and then it ended up that I had the same shilah for myself. This week, I was traveling a little bit. And I like to visit remote Jewish communities. So, from the Kahos, the Rebbe used to publish those books, the Kahos books. The Rebbe wanted that the American youth should have this Yiddish reading material. So there's a whole book that Kahos published about the richest woman in the world in her time, a Jewish woman, Donna Grazia. Or maybe I'm saying the Gracia. That the Inquisition was after her to kill her because she was Jewish, and also they wanted her money. And she was able to escape from Spain, and then she got to the Ottoman Empire. She was a very, very wealthy and influential woman.
She still had her wealth?
She had her wealth, yes. On her way, the first stop that she was able to escape from was to the Republic of Dubrovnik. It's part of Croatia. So it was sort of a city state.
You went to Croatia, didn't you?
I went to Croatia. So one of the places I went was to Dubrovnik. So I visited the shul there, and the shul is 500 years old. Still a functioning shul. I hate to have anywhere in Europe. I hate to ever take Sure, you miss Shabbos. I can't give chazara right now. Yes, if it heard from you, he didn't tell me. So I hate whenever I go in Europe, especially to have a goyish tour guide, because they love to, especially such countries, they love to give you sob stories, but they always whitewash, the history that they have with Jews. A country like Croatia today, in the information ways, before I go to a country, I read up about it. So they had a fascist government. They tried to prove to the Nazis how they could outdo the Nazis, and they managed. And they made their own concentration camps, and they killed the Jews of all the major cities, including from Bosnia and so on. They killed 80% of the Jews themselves to prove themselves to the Nazis. So don't tell me about how much you suffered. Anyway, the shul is well preserved, and remarkable thing about the shul is that there is no Ezras Noshim. This the Sephardi Jews, they were not so into that Ezras Noshim business. So there is like this small windows far in the sides that come the women, if the women ever came, it was not like an upstairs Ezras Noshim. It was in a different building with a window that they could just about hear what's going on. It's a very interesting observation. They had to say three Sefer Torah that they have preserved. One of them was brought with the community when they came from Spain in 1492. So what happened was they gave it in 1990 when the war broke out, the Yugoslav war. They sent the Sefer Torah to Yeshiva University Museum. And Yeshiva University kept it. Yeshiva University didn't want to give it back to them. I think Yeshiva University is right. But why are they right? Because the community is not using Sefer Torah. Now they took the Sefer Torah and they opened it up and they put it behind glass and they're charging people money to come see it. It's a chutzpah. It's the biggest bizarre in Sefer Torah. It's not the way to use a Sefer Torah. It's that's what it is. It's not. They had a legal battle. Yeshiva University sent it back to them. But the community is not using the Sefer Torah. They're not using it. And the shliach is trying to work, but you see in all these communities, they don't like the shluch. They like to sit in a pile of money, the community. There's like the shliach Rabbi Is, who told me that the Rebbe had sent a shliach. There was someone that went on business, to Zagreb in Croatia. The Rebbe told him that there's an old age home for Jewish people in Zagreb owned by the Jewish community. That he should go there and influence the Jewish community to make sure that the kitchen should be kosher. Behez Tovshin Chav Gimel. Tovshin Chav Gimel, 1963. The Rebbe came then in Kop. He knew that there is an old age home. He knew that in Zagreb there's an old age home that belongs to the Jewish community, but the Rebbe was upset that the serving them tarfas. Hayatoch in the Jewish community would serve tarfas. He should influence the Jewish community that they should serve kosher food. So the shliach told me that he was talking to the community about it. The community, that a lot of these European communities, they're sitting on a chosin, and they're not happy for shliach to come. He said, I met with the community leaders this week, and this week they closed the Jewish old age home and transferred the old people to other places, which are, he says, but they have the money. They have the money. They tell me, Rabbi Zaklis, please leave the country. We don't need you. We don't want you. They in all these countries, they're not interested in the shluchim. The young people, they love the shluchim. And the Yiddishkeit will only continue with these shluchim. But old people who are sitting on a pile of cash, who run the community, they don't like the shluchim. So actually, in Dubrovnik, the shliach tells me there's an unbelievable opportunity to do mitzvahim, but the Jewish community doesn't want to let him to use the shul. So he wants to. He's now in negotiation to purchase a property right when you go into the old city. It's a gorgeous old city. It's something unusual, and they have millions of tourists. So he's in negotiations now to buy a old structure, a historical structure, as you go into the old city, which literally every day there's hundreds of thousands of people that'll pass, and he'll make he'll have inside a stand to put on film and a video playing with like the gem videos. Anyway, I was thinking that what's talking the thing of taking a picture of a Sefer Torah that's in display. I mean, I didn't put the Sefer Torah in display. It's a bizoyin, but I'm allowed to take a picture and send it to my son-in-law who's a sofer. I ask him, like, what's the ksav? Ksav Beis Yosef, Arizal, Chulu. So there was an interesting shaila that the tshuva that was dealt with there was an interesting shaila that was dealt with in the Shevet HaLevi. Shevet HaLevi has an interesting shaila in Chelek Hey. He has a very interesting shaila. This was many years ago. and there was a rash of theft of Sefer Torah. So someone suggested that every shul should scan a few dapim of the Sefer Torah and have them like in little cards, film cards. Every Sefer Torah should be tagged. And so what happens if a secondhand Sefer Torah is being sold, there should be like a database. Every Sefer Torah is a little different than the other Sefer Torah. The idea is a little bigger, a little smaller. The Ksav, even one Sefer that wrote 100 Sefer Torah, one Sefer Torah doesn't look like the second Sefer Torah. So if you just have a copy of 4 or 5 dapim, and there was a sort of an international database, so if someone's trying to sell you a Sefer Torah, second-hand Sefer Torah, and you put it in a picture of Bereshis, the first 3 dapim, and it'll be flagged. So a community somewhere in the whoop will say, hey, they're going to get a phone call saying, hey, this guy is trying to sell the Sefer Torah that was stolen from you. How long ago was it stolen by you? Then the Soicha cannot sell it now. So obviously the demand for stolen Sefer Torah is going to plummet if such a thing would happen. Apparently such a thing never happened, but anyway, the plan, it's a grandiose plan. So every shul has to get involved in this. We're talking about
it would be the Actus. So that the Mashiach would come. Do you have such Actus?
Mashiach will come from Actus, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
From this plan, I'm not sure, but from Actus for sure. So they asked the Shaila by Rav Osner if this would be proper to do such a thing. So there's a beautiful tshuva, and the kut of his tshuva is about Bizoyin Sefer Torah. You're not allowed to be mavaza Sefer Torah. There's a Gemara. I didn't give out copies today because my computer, if anyone knows a good IT person, please tell me after the shir. I'm not sure if my computer is gegangen schlafen because of the general problem. Was Friday, or my computer gegangen schlafen for other reasons. But if you know a good IT guy, please tell me after the shir. I'm desperate to get my computer working. Anyway, so that's why I don't have any copies. But there's a Mishnah and a Gemara and the Daf Yud Ches and Brachos. The Brona Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch Paskins and Yeredei Semereish Bebeis that Hoya Hoylech Makom LaMakom with Sefer Torah Lo Yanichu B'Sak V'Nechen Al Gabe Chamer V'Yirkev Alav Ela Manichu B'Cheikoi Keneged Liboy V'Uroichev Al HaChamer V'Imay Mefachet V'Ganovim Mutter. If you're scared of the Ganovim, is mutter. So you're not allowed to be mevazah Sefer Torah. If you're mefachim the Ganovim, it's mutter. So the emphasis is there's a machloikis at Rishonim, what you're allowed to do. There's a long bach about it. The Shach brings. So if there is a sakona, obviously, what do you mean there's a sakona? If it's sakonas nefoshes, there's only 3 mitzvahs a person's mechuyev yoharek val yaver. I'm not talking about sakonas nefoshes. The sakona means the sakona that the Sefer Torah is going to come ganovim, and the sakona pashtus means the sakona for the Sefer Torah. The sakona that the Sefer Torah will be bigger bizoyin. If the ganovim are going to steal the Sefer Torah, they could tear it, they could burn it. They could mevaz it. There's a sakona for the Sefer Torah. Probably that's what sakona means. So if there's a sakona, you're allowed to be. But what kind of bizoyin are you allowed to do to the Sefer Torah? It's machlokes rishonim. Some say you're not allowed to sit in it, even if it's a sakona. Some say you are. The bottom line is that the Shach says, "Abach herich bazeh be'esek linyan alochin aktin and hochel hochel lachumna shaloi b'makom sakona leishore ela b'cheike keneged liboy b'makom sakona nami leishore ela lafshir lachoyrev v'loi lirkav alot." However, bevade echad efshel hachem b'koved the Torah. 1 second. Wow. He says, but if there's taka, there's no other choice, he can put it under his body and sit on it in order to avoid a sakona. Which again, l'chayda sakona doesn't over here mean sakonas nefoshes, because when it's sakonas nefoshes, the Gemara says a whole story about Elisha Baal Nefayim, that he ran away, the Romans were going to catch him. And he was hiding his phone, and they opened up and he saw a bird. That was so the Rishonim say so from here we see, and he was called a big chassid. It was a nest. It was a midas chassidus. And so in other words, mina mitzadadin, he could have dropped this film on the ground and go away. Elamai, it was a midas chassidus. Therefore, a miracle happened. So here we're saying that the sakona, you have to Torah, Sefer Torah, that's the biggest cover that's to be given to Sefer Torah. Like the Rambam says, it's brought in Shulchan Aruch and Sif Aleph, that Yeshiv Lafon of the Kovet Rosh, B'Yida, B'Pachat, Shu Eid Nemel, Al Kol B'Yoylam, Shenema, V'Hoya B'Cho, V'Yoya Shom, B'Chol Eid, V'Chabdenu V'Koyche. So when you're traveling, you should hold it in your hand, B'Chovadik. But if there's a sakona, Pashas means sakona for the Sefer Torah, you're allowed to be mavazed. How much to be mavazed is a shayla. So this is the shakavatariya in the tshuva from Rav for Shevet Alevi for Ravozna, that are you allowed to? He says that when you take out a Sefer Torah for no reason, all the places we talk about, you're not allowed to stam like take out a Sefer Torah for no reason. Even there's shayla about communities that take out the Sefer Torah in the street to dance. It's a Torah. Okay, but that's a shingavarn on minig Yisrael, because the Gemara says in Tainis Daf Yudches that Meitzina Sefer Torah l'chayv v'shalir. The Gemara says why? Because that's a bezoin for the Sefer Torah, and the people will cry when they see there's a bezoin of Sefer Torah. The Sefer Torah is being schlepped out to the street. The people will break their heart and they'll cry and they'll do tshuva. We see from this that even just taking out the Sefer Torah from the Aron Kodesh l'chayv v'shalir is already a bezoin. So taking out the Sefer Torah from the Aron Kodesh and schlepping it and opening it up to take pictures of it and to scan it is the l'choira bizoyin of the Sefer Torah. But perhaps just like we say, a person that has a sakona, he's allowed to be mavad Sefer Torah. Shailus to what extent? But this is take a picture of a Torah. It's not like sitting in it. So the l'choira should be mutter. But then he goes into back and forth. He says, look, if a guy is riding and he sees that there is listim, he's on the road, and all of a sudden he sees there's listim on the road. So that's a serious sakona. If you have a shul and a Sefer Torah is in the Aron Kodesh, the listim are not, standing mamish on the side. It's not an imminent danger. You could put bars on the windows. You could put a safe like we have a strong safe deposit box with a lock. There's no eitzes. So back and forth in the shilas of Chuvas, and at the end he says he thinks that if a community wants to do it, and they feel that that's the right thing for their Sefer Torah, it should be mutter. Bottom line is, back to our shaila, to take out a Sefer Torah, a mitzvah boys, for the photographer to take pictures. It's a bizoin Sefer Torah, even if you're not taking it out of the shul. For a museum to take a Sefer Torah and to open it up and put it behind glass, that's a bizoin Sefer Torah. There's no shaila, there's a bizoin Sefer Torah. Like I said, could be that's why she read. Same thing? I don't know. They have it till today in the Israel Museum. They have the Ben Osher Sefer Torah on display.
Okay, but so here, they had a whole party on the whole exhibition. See people from Yemen, from everywhere you can think of.
Right.
So I learned a lot of things from that.
So the truth is like this: there is what you said is your question is an answer. If they're putting it in a place for Talmidei Chachamim have the ability to come and to learn from it, so you could say that this is not a bizayon because they want to learn from it. But in a place like this that I'm talking about, no Talmidei Chachamim are coming to look at it. Yes.
Rabbi, the Sefer Torah is faster. They did it a lot monopoly. They did not have a tension on you, but still should be glad enough. But they did it.
I don't know. You're able to learn from it. So the l'chayr is not a bizayon. But they didn't have in mind.
If it's Sefer Torah faster, you're allowed to.
Are you allowed to mevaz apostle Sefer Torah? I don't think so. She right. Exactly. Right.
You go into the museum and then you say Sefer there. And it's a design or whatever. If you learn out of it, is that so from it to be possible.
Okay, so that's that.
So you took picture or you picked?
I took a picture, yeah. So okay. the shliach asked me an interesting shaila. Last week, like I said, I spent the Shabbos with Rabbi Pini Zaklis in Zagreb. So he asked me an interesting shaila. He said that they pay him to make kashrus for boats. Boats, people that have money to burn, and they like to burn their money. They wissen nicht, was sie tun mit their Geld. So they
With the cruises?
Yeah, so they go on these cruises. Cruises, Shoinem.
They rent private boats, so they're like they might provide free.
Right. So the shliach, well, for the shliach it's good, and for shliach it's parnasa. So with the vaila, you make sure that the kosher should be true kosher. I mean, it's very important. You have places you go, and people think it's kosher. And Rahman al-Islam, he was telling me that he got a phone call one day from a kosher family. I'm not going to say the name because people might know this family. They live around here, and he came to the hotel again, one of these kosher programs. Found out that the night before, ahead, it was a takol, a mistake. They served him chicken with gravy, alagutazachen, tarfus. Not a bad hechsher. Not the pshat that they mixed up the milk and the fleishik. Tarfus. It's given treif. The waiter made a mistake, whatever. There wasn't a mashgiach there.
How did they catch it?
How did they find out?
Super.
The bacon. So they figured it out. And he said they were crying and crying. He says, well, what can I do? He says, I make sure, he's a shliach, he makes sure if he does a thing, the place is kosher. Not only kosher, but any other shayla that might arrive.
He didn't make sure.
It wasn't under him. This wasn't his. The chacham macht sich a kosher program. And he tells you it's kosher l'mahadrin min mahadrin. Anyways, so they asked him how they could do tshuva. So he said, I need to build. I just built a Chabad house, but I don't have a kitchen in the Chabad house. I need a kosher kitchen in the Chabad house. He got a check for $36,000. He built a beautiful kosher kitchen in the Chabad house.
So it's good, isn't it?
Huh?
In a way, it's good.
Telling you a story. Yeah. So he got a call on Friday. One of the ships that he kashed, it was a ship that he kashed, and the Vayla, they called them. They said like this: the people on the boat. So the people take a tour. Again, it's like crazy money. I don't know like these tours cost you $10,000. That's the smallest, $20,000 per person. Who has money like this to burn? So the shaila was like this. They're docking for Shabbos, but in the marina they were told that they're going to be very busy that Shabbos. They're going to be very, very busy that Shabbos. So they're going to have to on Shabbos unhook that the boat will go back out in the water for a short time. And then when when other boats will go in and out, they'll be able to come back. So he asked me so what's first of all, is there Shabbos at Shabbos? Then is the Bechlal? Is there any Shaila? The people go on the boat, off the boat. Is there any Shaila? So I told him there's two places where the Alter Rebbe talks about it in Siman Tafei, which is really here. They were already shoyvis before Bein Hashmoshes, and the boat was tied up. So there were koine shvisa in that city, and they're allowed to walk in the whole city. And now they go on and off. They sleeping there.
They have to stay in the boat.
No, they don't have to stay in the boat. Why do they have to stay in the boat? They go off on the boat. They sleeping on. Okay, you're giving the answer before the question. Let me finish the question. So again, the question was that the boat arrives on Friday. They're tying the boat up. The people on the boat, they're davening Kabbalah Shabbos on the boat. They're having the Suda on the boat. They're having dessert on the boat. They're going to sleep. In the morning, they're waking up. They're davening. Then the people want to go off the boat and take a walk and spend the day 4 or 5 hours Shabbos afternoon. The Vaila, while the people are walking, they're going on the Bay of Koder. and it's very busy there. It's on the Adrian Sea. So the Vila, those 4 or 5 hours, so the captain says that he's going to untie the boat. He'll go into the Yam, and then 4 or 5 hours later he'll come back. What do you care? You're anyway off
And it's
on the Yabosha.
for the benefit of the guy.
Huh? Oh, what's the problem?
And it doesn't benefit the Jew that the boat comes and goes when they're not there. It's Avot Nafshe, I would think.
So it's if I like I said, I don't have it. So if you want, take a Shulchan Aruch, Siman Reish Mem Ches, and the Alter Rebbe, and Sif Hey. Siman Reish Mem Ches. I'm sorry, Sif Tes. The Alter Rebbe says, "Osel loy likonas besvina b'Shabbos. Afa b'shoylech l'dvar mitzvah. Afilu malachis l'mayla masoret tvachim. Afilu l'leilech l'toichet chum. Afilu malachis b'shvil goyim. Lefisha osel likonas klal besvina b'Shabbos. Afin le'einem malachis klal elo tzof apnei hamayim. Lefisha nira ki'ilu atzma yitzof v'shot apnei hamayim v'osel loshot b'Shabbos mishum gzeira shema yasa chovis shel shayotiv." Sounds off the wall, but Lepoil, that's a Chacham made Gzeira. You're not allowed to go swimming in Shabbos. Maybe you're going to start building a swimming pool. You're also not allowed to go onto a boat on Shabbos. Gzeira, maybe you're going to build a swimming pool. It sounds like off the wall, but Lepoil, that's what Chazal made a Gzeira. Also, Loshet b'mayim b'Shabbos from Gzeira. Shem yaschavish shoshem. Malam dematzim Loshet b'mayim alachovis. Aber k'shenich l'svina me'erev Shabbos. Afa b'shalachas gam b'Shabbos v'nei kashot loy goes a Chacham. Even show any oyster klum b'Shabbos. Shem eilu b'shotek nisosel l'teicham erev Shabbos. Lefikach afilu me'mafleges b'yabosha v'atzmai b'Shabbos ein b'kach klum l'vishenichus l'teicham erev Shabbos. If he walked into the boat before an erev Shabbos, and he's on the boat, and the boat is mafleges b'Shabbos, is also mutter. Mekomokim im yotza mimena liyabosha osur loy lachze l'teicham b'Shabbos. Lefi shebeknisa zu. If he walked out of the boat on Shabbos, he can't walk back. However, why? Because we said you're not allowed to walk on a boat on Shabbos. You're not allowed to walk on a boat on Shabbos. When he went out, he can't go back. Yesh matirin likonas l'toicha. Well, haflik b'Shabbos ikona b'shvisa me'erev Shabbos. Eine shahoya b'toicha metchilas ben hashmoshes ad shechoshecha. The kivin shebetchilas knisses Shabbos. Yes. The Kivan Shabbatchilas Knesset Shabbos, when Shabbos came in, Hoysa Shev Isasa Betoicha, Nasa Hikebeisoi, Avshi Yotzam and Achkech V'Shoa Harba Beyabosha, Vafilu Lonshon, Lo Yivsit Shvisasa Shabbosvina. And actually, Zor Lachza, Lo Oysa Svina Shekona Bashvisa, Lo Yikonas L'Svina Acheres, V'chein is Pashat Aminig, V'ein Limchas Beyoda. Shayika Kisvar Rishon, Akim Sheyesh Lamamasa Yismoichel. There's this Pashat Aminig, to be makel, that if you get on the boat and you were there the whole Ben Hashmoshes, the Alter Rebbe says, "Mekomokem lachish yiflige chutz l'tchum matzurim losses leyabosha. Fila nichnas l'techira mukefes chem l'dira kashkasav semetafei." But that wasn't the boat. Once the boat goes out, you can come to a new place. But they didn't have that problem. They came in here on Erev Shabbos.
Arbeit maritime.
Ve'yesh noigim. So therefore, yesh noigim l'sad b'shulchem b'svina l'hadlik shamneidis v'lasas kiddush. Kadeshi Sparsem Lakoil Shikono Kashrisa, Velo Yakshudu Oisam Sheafligal Balamaka Mayim. Bakomakim Sirichim Lezor Sheyesh Risham Besvina, Kol Ben Hashmoshes Achetechshach. Velo Yetzim and a cloud by Emsa Ben Hashmoshes. Bachol Rega Vedega Sheben Hashmoshes, Yesh Safek Shemit Chilas Alayla, Vedega Shal Chilas Alayla, Tzarechliz Besvina, Commotion is boy. So the bottom line is, in this case, the boat came into the dock and Erev Shabbos. They didn't do this kosher program that ended up being bacon and eggs. They did a thing that was kashed by the shliach and the Alzigeven git, Alzigeven kosher. So they docked Erev Shabbos, and they had kiddush on the boat, and they lit the candles on the boat, and they davened Kabbalah Shabbos on the boat.
The chazan on the boat.
And everything is good. Now Shabbos by day, they want to go out for a few hours. So it makes no difference if the boat was tied or the boat was not tied. What's the difference? The Shvisa, they're going back to the same boat, so there's no problem. They can go back on the boat.
If the boat goes out to sea.
Yeah, it doesn't go out chutz l'tchum. It goes out. It goes out a little bit. So other boats can go in.
That's a problem.
I don't know. I don't know if the boat, but they're not going Chutz Tchum. What's the difference if the boat went Chutz Tchum? But they're going back to the same boat. If they're going to Shvisa in the city and Erev Shabbos,
The boat comes back, so they're going back to the same
yeah,
boat.
they're going back to the same boat. So the guy went Chutz Tchum. So, but Mitzidam, so there's no problem. Mitzad Koine Shvisa, there were Koine Shvisa in the city, the Bein Hashmoshes, and Mitzad going onto a boat in Shabbos is also for you to walk on a boat in Shabbos, since they're the whole Bein Hashmoshes, they were on a boat, and they made Kiddush and Isparasam Adovot, so therefore it's mutter. And the Shlich was very happy. Again, that even though his responsibility on the boat was not for answering the Shailus, his Kashus, but it was Shkocha Pratis. They called the Shliach, they had a question, and that was the answer. One more thing, I have a few minutes, and we like to do 3 Shailus. So I didn't see any news or hear anything, but when I was in I was talking in that place where that boat docked. I was there a few days later. I'm not going on these boats, but it was a beautiful place, the Bay of Koder, and I found a goy and asked him if he could rent his boat for a half hour. So the guy says, President Trump, here, they killed President Trump.
Heard from him.
This language, the Greenback language. So this is, no, they speak some Slavic language, I don't know. But English, man kann die ganze Welt, mit ein paar Dollar mit English kann sich halt so auskommen. Huh? Yeah. So,
No man has to be Chris at $100 printed dollars. You give him a crumbled up $100.
no, it's a English. They're spoiled.
Check it. Has to be fresh $100. I know it has to be used. You give him an old 100.
Nicht gut.
Visual.
They're spoiled. These guys are spoiled.
That kind of 50s or 20s with dollars. That one great on it.
So,
Said that was like I think $100, but
Someday. That's right.
20s or 50s.
That's right.
so the Shaila is, how does the Torah look at the story?
Single dollars.
So the Rebbe had a unbelievable talk. It was in Tavshim Aleph, if you remember. Ronald Reagan was defeated. What's his name? Jimmy Carter. No, in 81. I remember Kingston Avenue with placards. Everyone was voting for Ronald Reagan.
Reagan and Hebrew posters.
They had posters all over. I remember Kingston Avenue in 1981 being plastered with placards for Ronald Reagan.
Even though he went to bid, he made some big mistakes.
He made some mistakes, right? Exactly.
I'll never forget that.
Right. He made
He went
mistakes.
to the Nazi cemetery.
Nazi cemetery. Yeah. But listen, the Goy.
He got called out that was wrong, so people know he did something wrong.
He did something wrong. He did wrong.
He was very proper.
Okay, listen, he's a Goy. And the Rebbe, even though he made that mistake, the Rebbe was makar of him very much. And the Rebbe wrote him a beautiful letter, and he wrote back. After he was, so this guy tried to kill him. There was an assassination attempt against him.
They did hit him.
This guy, John Hinckley. It was outside a hotel. And what happened was, after the Rebbe, he wrote a letter to the Rebbe, L'Kovid Yud Aleph Nissen, and that was a few weeks after he was shot. And the Rebbe spoke about this, and he wrote to the Rebbe that he honors the Rebbe and Chabad for doing so much for education. The Rebbe in the second Sikha, Yud Aleph Nissen, spoke about what the president wrote to him and what he wrote back to the president. It's an unusual thing. The Rebbe said, if Eid knows something, it's a Shkocha Pratis. So what kind of lesson could you take from the story that this guy tried to assassinate the president of the United States?
I don't think he hit him.
The Rebbe said, yeah, what do you mean? You got the bullet went a few millimeters from his heart. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So what happened was, he said, God with me. So what happened was, the Rebbe said that the lesson is simple. That there is a prevailing thought in America that crime is from desperation. The person grew up in the slums, no opportunities, and therefore he's turning to crime. The Rebbe said that this person, turns out, was Ben Ashirim. They were upper middle class. It was not true. This whole thing that they say was not true. For this guy, John Hinckley, he was Bachlan left. He was not a desperate person from the slums in the Bronx. And Lamai, the Rebbe said, it's like the pasuk says, Lo Yatzovoy Aviv Miyama. like the pasuk said about Avshalom, lo yavtzovi ovi, because his father never educated him. In America, there's a problem in the educational system, that Rebbe said. They're teaching them how to count money, how to add and subtract, how to count numbers, how to the ABC and the 1, 2, 3, science, v'chulu, how to make a living, how to make money. That's not chinuch. Chinuch means that a person refines their character to become a good person. The Rebbe said that the founding fathers of the United States of America put the rule, set forth the rule to separation of church and state, and now it's being learned. Moshe Kapoya, the pshat of the separation of church and state, doesn't mean that the person shouldn't believe that ayin roya v'oizen shamaz v'chol masachel v'stei from the Torah. Adrabah v'adrabah. Founding fathers of the United States of America all believed that ayin roya v'oizen shamaz v'chol masachel v'stei from the Torah. They believed in the Rebbe Shalom. They enshrined in the Constitution that there should be a separation of church and state, because they didn't want that there should be a head of state Lamazogn that follows a certain way of Lamazogn is a Catholic, that it'll force all the people to go to the Catholic Church. They should be Catholic. That's the pshat of separation of church and state, not that this should separate Chas v'Shalom, take the Rebbeinu Shalom out of the educational system. If we're going to teach the youth in the United States that the reason they shouldn't shoot is they're going to get caught and they're going to sit in jail for many years, but an Oiber Chacham is going to think that he doesn't care about the consequences and he's not going to be caught, or he doesn't care to be caught. The only way to ensure that such a thing shouldn't happen is that the educational system in the United States should be reformed, that the children should be taught not only information, but they should be taught about the Rebbeinu Shalom, that there's ayin roya v'oizen shamaz v'chol maseicha b'sefer nechtovim, and that the Eibishter created this world and created every human being with a purpose, and the purpose is l'shevet yitzora, and that's the purpose of every single human being. Mamela, such things won't happen again. So anyway, since such a thing happened last week, again with the President of the United States. And again, it seems that the person he was a person that had a good job. He wasn't and he had a good job. It was not a guy from the slums. Not a guy from the slums. Right. And he just got a day off from work. He's taking a day. He told his employer he needs a day off from work. Listen, the Rebbe says that the lesson, I think the lesson still it rings true from 1981 to today. The lesson is that it's not going to help to blame the Secret Service, the CIA, and the bottom line is that in America, the problem is that the youth are not being taught that oizen shamas, ayin roya oizen shamas v'chol masach b'sefer nechtovim. Therefore, these things happen. So that's the lesson that the Rebbe said then, and that's the lesson that's still true today. David shall help him that we should come to the days that the attack of the whole world will be love the Shechem Echad, the Vis Mashiach Tzedkein.
Amen.
How many wash?
David, did you wash?
What is Shechem? Eitel Chapshotim. Chelik Echad. Means that it's Abba Eibishter. Chelik. Says Shimon. Yeah, love the Shechem Echad Abbas.
Was Kollel wird gewollt Menschen Wer ist gesagt,
Gewollt verkehrt.
aber gesagt, lass mir sagen, what was in it for him?
Oh, what was in it for him?
In it for him, I'm looking. Why would any Hitler, why would he want to bench the Jews? Good, I can't curse that, let me bench them.
Right here.
Good point. What's the problem? I looked when Rashi computer. I looked when press the
But Rashi says
why
before that.
Villa want to bench the Yid?
Right.
Villa.
Oh,
Bill,
says,
on a blush?
maybe
Let me bench them if I can.
No, he said before I went to pension, maybe
Where do you see that? Because I look for the person.
Aber I'm a bit of pension. Was it good to the initial Haram Shalom?
Amen.
Son.